Hey guys, welcome to Double D's RCs. I'm Don. Please like and subscribe if you like our video. Today I'm going to talk about how to clean my truck after I get it dirty. On like Facebook and stuff, I see every single day somebody asks, how do I clean my slash? How do I clean my car? And that's cool. That's a good question to ask because a lot of people don't realize you can get them a little bit wet and it doesn't really hurt them. I'm just gonna deal with a slash today. That's my disclaimer here. All other cars, I'm not gonna guarantee shit, but the slash you can definitely get wet. So I'm assuming anything with the Valenian motor and the 3XL or whatever, VXL, 3S. I mean, it says waterproof right on it. I don't know if I drive it into a lake, but some people might. But either way, you can definitely get it wet. So I'm just going to show you how I do things on a Traxxas slash. Alright, so this is after it's pretty muddy out on the track. It's been raining the past few days and I really hate cleaning my truck, like super hate it, but I also love to drive and I didn't want to wait until it stopped raining to drive, so yeah, I went out there and yeah, this thing's dirty as fuck, man. Sorry for the cussing, but whatever. Yeah, so you gotta do everything on these trucks. You know, I take the wheels off and then go from there, man. You know, I mean, you got bearings in each wheel, you got bearings on the motor that need to be serviced from time to time. They don't mind getting wet, but they also get rusty. So you'll see, like, these screws here on the inside where the wrench goes, they get rusty. Here gets rusty, you know, these little bolts and stuff. So that doesn't bother me. You can switch over to stainless steel. They make kits for them. That's not that big of a deal to me, though, as long as the truck performs great, which the way I have this set up, it does for what I do. But you definitely need to service all the moving parts and make sure they're clean and lubricated. So for this particular setup and the way I'm running it on my track, when it's muddy especially, I put on tires that I don't give a shit about because I know they're going to get wet, I know they're going to get trashed, things like that, so it doesn't really matter too much. I have a bunch of sets of tires and I just pick old ones if I'm just, you know, strictly bashing in the backyard. But on my better tires, if I know that there's potential for them to get wet or even partially submerged, there is vent holes in these rims, okay? So I strongly suggest, if you have a new set of tires, when you plan on running them in wet grass, water, puddles, mud, you may want to cover those holes up. They're vent holes. I put Gorilla Tape on the ones that are my good tires, or my better tires, like this here. You can see there's a piece of tape there, and then there's another one over here. That's just because I don't want the foam on the inside to get trashed and throw them out of balance bad enough to where they wobble a lot. For example, this one here, these were nice tires, trenchers. They came on one of my trucks that I bought used, but I didn't plug up these holes on these because that was before I knew, and they got extremely wet. quite a few times, and the foam actually, I feel like it deteriorated or moved because these things are so far out of balance. If I put them on my truck now, it wobbles beyond belief, and it just sucks. So I guess at some point I'm going to try and remove this glue and either replace the foams, because the tread is still quite a bit on there. So it's just a little tip: make sure to cover those holes if you're going to be getting your nice tires and rims wet. Alright, so this is like the back section by the motor, rear drive shafts, rear springs. You can see that they are definitely dirty. Okay, I'm gonna have to take everything apart essentially and just knock all the dirt off first. I'm gonna take the spring off of the actual housing, you know, and get in there, because there's so much just shit everywhere that I'm gonna have to clean it all out. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. You can see like these screws up in here in the transmission get rusty. It's not that big of a deal, like I said, to me. As far as it's just cosmetics, I'm gonna clean it still and see if I can put some sort of shine back onto it. But mainly what you want to do is make sure that everything gets back to free flowing. Right now it's super stiff because of all the mud on all the hinge points, and the mud in here is restricting stuff. So I'm gonna go at it and clean this up, and then go from there, get it back to operational, and then yeah, go drive it. Alright, so another thing I've learned after doing this for a little while is the transmission cover. It's designed to keep debris and stuff out of the spur gear and the pinion gear, but sometimes, well, there's a hole in the front, I guess. I don't know what it's. I guess it makes room for the drive shaft to spin freely and not hit the cover. Okay, so on the front of this transmission cover, there's a little bit of a hole. Okay, so what happens is dirt and debris does get into there. Maybe you can cover it, I don't know, with some tape or something. I've never done it. Maybe somebody out there has a hack that can do it of some sort. Tape, maybe, I guess. But if you take this cover off at some point during your cleaning, what you'll see is stuff gets in there. So another thing I've noticed, okay, is when you're out driving in mud and shit. See, look at all that. Alright, so this is what I'm talking about on the front. This cutout makes room for the drive shaft to spin right here, okay, but it also flings a bunch of dirt into these gears here. So sometimes when I'm out cruising, I'll start hearing like a clicking noise, and if you're not used to what that noise is, you may think something in your transmission is broken or something, but what I found a lot of the times is just a piece of dirt or something will get onto these gears somewhere, and it'll cause, like, see, look at this right here. I don't know how good you can see, but there's a big chunk of something right there. So every time this motor spins fast, and every time it spins around, it hits these teeth mesh, and if there's any debris in there, which there's quite a bit on this one, it'll make a clicking noise, and it sounds pretty bad, but it's really not bad. So as far as, like, I've never stripped a spur, I've never had a overheating issue. It's mainly just a noise. If you never take care of it, maybe it would be a problem, but it's really 2 screws to get this cover off, and then you can get in there and you just take a flathead or a pick and just go along each one of these teeth. It takes like 5 minutes, and then that noise goes away. and then they function and mesh properly with no debris in there. So it's something, it's just another tip. If you're hearing a noise, just take that cover off and take a look, man. You know, it's really, I found it to be that quite often. Alright, so first I do like a preliminary cleaning. I get all the like heavy shit off with like a screwdriver. You know, just kind of knock it off. If you let the mud dry, if you're too lazy to clean it right after you drive, then this is what I do. I just knock it all off with a screwdriver, and then I go back in and I use a brush like this, and I just kind of knock off all the major shit before I use any kind of cleaner at all. So now I'm going to go back in and use a Simple Green multi-purpose cleaner. They make a foaming one also, I just don't have any, but Simple Green works pretty good. So that's what I'm going to use to kind of get in a little bit deeper. Alright, so things are coming together pretty good. I don't concentrate a lot on like the bumper. You know, back up in here, there's dirt, whatever. You could take off all this stuff, but that's not going to do anything. Body mounts, they got dirt on them, whatever. But, you know, everything in within here is free-flowing, moving. It's still dirty, but I don't feel like taking it off all the way because I'm lazy. So I'd rather just go drive it. But everything's functional just fine. You know, it's got plenty of pressure, free travel, shock looks good. All the hinge points are fine, nothing's bent, bearings are decent. So before I get back out there, I'm going to lubricate the bearings, but they feel fine for now. Alright, I'm about done with this. The main point of this video is that it's super easy to clean these things. The other option is right when you're done, I just pour hot water all over this damn thing, and then I air dry it with a compressor, and usually that works way better. But the last time I drove it in the mud, I was partially lazy, but also I was kind of in a hurry. So when I was done, I just threw it in my garage and you know, said fuck it. But you know, just keep them clean as good as you can. Cosmetically, if you don't care about that, that's fine. But make sure all your engine, you know, your motor, your powertrain, transmission, make sure that's all clean. When you're cleaning this, you can also kind of find out any problems that are starting. You know, check all your wires, your connections, see if any of your wires are chafing, anything's showing, rubbing. You can check your hinges, you know, check all your screws, see if you're getting any cracks anywhere. So I mean, it's a good thing to keep them clean for that, and also keep the bearings free moving, replace them when needed, so that way the motor doesn't overheat or overwork. Overall, it's just a good practice to get into. For me, like I said, I don't go detailed. I don't get it ready for the shelf because I know the next time I'm out, I'm going to get it very dirty again. So I don't go through every crack and take every part off, take the bumpers off, all that. I just go after suspension, you know, check the motor, drop the camera, you know, stuff like that. Sorry. But yeah. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And yeah, see you next time. Bye-bye.